Well, hi.
Well, hello. You know, I think this is the perfect opportunity to teach a new skill. Can you guess what it is?
Push starting a KTM.
How about towing a KTM?
Okay, valuable skill.
All right, so what do we have to pull this thing?
Well, let me check my crate. Got a bungee cord.
Bungee cord's too short.
I got a tow strap, or a
Tie down?
ratchet strap.
Okay, well that might...
Or I got an extension cord.
Of course you have an extension cord.
Why
wouldn't you have an extension cord? You're on a KLR. I'm not going to ask. I don't need to know why you carry an extension cord on a KLR.
Might have to charge my phone.
I've got an actual tow strap. So let's grab the tow strap out of the back here.
I got one of those in my pocket.
Oh, well, really? Now you're going to tell me that?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been funny if I told you earlier.
Jeez. All right, fine. All right. This is a great time just to go through this lesson. It happens, eventually it happens. Whether it's failed brakes or electronics or an engine or gas or loss of oil. We've done a couple of these. How many have you towed now on the different training that we've done?
So, strangely enough, I've had to tow 3 bikes off the mountain. 2 of them were KTMs. The third bike was a KLR. Kicked up a rock, knocked the oil plug loose, drained all of the oil out of the bike. Don't know how long you've been riding with no oil. A couple of you rode into town to the hardware store, bought a bolt and a quart of oil, and rode it home.
That's a KLR.
But I used this beast.
Oil is optional. All right, so one of the things that you, whenever you tow a bike, what you have to pay attention to is how you're going to pull a straight line. One of the mistakes is either going to the handlebar on the side, but every time you pull it, it's going to pull it out of line. We need to run up through the center. On a dirt bike, I'd run under the triple, across the handlebar into my handle. And the reason I do that is so that when it comes across the center, it's pulling the bike straight, and then my hand will hold that strap, and that way if anything goes crazy I can let go of the strap and the bike or the strap, it untangles. On this, because they have the headlight and the fairing, we're going to have to work around that. So I am going to try to get up under the fender here. I'm going to try to run it out the one side. So what I'm thinking is underneath the triple right here.
You got space next to the fender.
Yeah, I think we go into the triple here. So hand me the strap there.
Well, we got to hook it onto mine first because I got the eye loop.
Got it. Well, why don't you pull up on the front? Now, when you look at the tow straps, most of them, what they do is they have a closed loop on one end. That way we can open that loop, run it through, and then run the strap through. So the tow bike is going to have a positive attachment.
Hey,
oh, sorry about that. Oh, you betcha. Got it. Perfect. And the idea when you hook onto your tug, again, if you're pulling off center, the more center you can put it, the better off you are. If it goes off center, it's still going to pull his bike sideways.
Well, and the other thing is the lower you can get, the easier it is. If I go to take off and we get a bump in the...
Well, do you want to drop it down here? We can do that. I think you'll be
Is
sturdy
that sturdy enough?
No.
That's pretty flimsy.
It's a KLR.
It's a KLR. You bust that licorice frame.
The back of the frames. We're pulling on the end with this. Woo! Well, maybe just hook right onto your milk crate.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, you've done this more than I have.
All right. So let's see what we
You
can
always
see.
seem to be sweep on the crew.
Well, it's because I'm your Viking recovery system. Okay, so I'm going behind the fork and under the triple clamp. But I'm making, this one has space in between the triple clamp and the side of the fender. So that way I don't pinch any of the plastic. And then I'm just checking along here to make sure I don't pinch any wires or hoses or anything.
What we do on this side is you don't want to tie around the grip, because when I let go, I don't want it to tighten up. It has to be able to come loose. So when I do this, what I do is I run through. Actually, I'm going to go over. And that way I can use the pressure of my hand to hold it in place, and then this is free underneath. That way when I let go or release pressure, it just slides out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so if it's slipping out of your hand, if you come over the top on the inside and then space it out, you can do a separate wrap where you got a gap in between them, and then I just let the end dangle over the side, and that way you've got pressure on the top, the back, and all three sides. But it's still enough that it'll break loose. Because of course we're never going to break down in dry, clean, sunshiny.
Never going to happen.
No, why would it?
When he starts, what he'll do is he's going to pull forward, put tension in the line. And once he has tension in the line, then we can start the pull. We're going uphill, we'll keep the tension. Anytime we hit downhill, he'll accelerate, I'll let go of the strap, and then I can coast down the hill until we get flat ground or until we're going uphill again.
And I'm just going to lay that across the top of your fender to kind of hold it in place until I can take the slack out.
Perfect. I'm going to throw my helmet back on.
And if I just pull forward.
Yep.
Hey-ya! Yeah, mule!
Here it goes, put a little tension in the line, not pulling on any cords or anything. That was going from a tail to the handlebar and pulling at the handlebar, but also we can go foot peg. We can tow from the tail to foot peg or foot peg to foot peg.
Yep. One of the keys to this, you actually do a crossover. So I'm going to go to my right foot peg, bring it back to his left foot peg, and that way when we go down the trail, he's got to make sure that he stays to that side, I stay to this side, because we can't let the bikes cross over, because then the strap will bind up on the tires. And then when it's the same thing, it's a wrap around the foot peg, just like we did on the hand grip. When he wants to let go, he just lifts his foot up.
Let me get a little closer.
So I'll just say pull the strap back. I'll move mine over to the other side a little bit.
I'm used to pushing the KTM. We're good.
Because if I get over to my side of the trail where I need to be, that'll make the start a little smoother too.
So what's your experience with this one, Paul? Because I'm sitting on cleats. So do you like to go over the top or under the bottom first?
It doesn't seem to matter.
Okay.
As long as you got weight.
Okay.
And then again, just make sure you don't wrap the strap under itself.
Okay, so I've got it tailing behind. Let me put a little extra there so it doesn't drag as much. And okay, that should be good to go.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, I'm ready when you're ready.
Alrighty.
Now, I guess I should throw the side stand up beforehand. That way we don't have a problem with that. And no crossover. Pressure on the peg. what I'm going to do is drag the front brake this time to keep tension in the line. So he can let me go forward. Also, the front brake has a little better control. It's good to have a buddy with you. All right, Paul. So, what's your top tip for somebody that needs to tow somebody off a mountain or out of a trail?
The main thing is just mind your strap. That's going to be huge. If that thing gets tangled up, that's going to create more problems. Make sure you're hooked onto something secure and take your time. You're not going to go fast. You're going to keep moving, and just take your time.
And my suggestion is, like anything you do, you practice first aid, you practice riding skills, practice a tow. If you have the parts, if you have the stuff, get into an environment where you have time, where things are safe, put the bikes up, just make sure you know what you're doing. So if you ever do need it, you're not trying to figure out on the trail, and most importantly, nobody gets hurt while you're trying to figure it out.
Grab an extension cord, hit the trail.
And always bring a KLR with you.
Always bring a KLR.
You can't kill a KLR.
If you need a mule,
You'll never get out in a hurry, but you'll get out.
it forces you to take your time.
Yeah. But although you do have to carry extra bolts with you when you have a KLR.
Yeah, like
It won't stop running, but
Yeah.
you might have things falling off. That's what the milk crate's for. All right, let's go.
You need a push?
We're good. Whoa! Stalled. This is a stall-happy motorcycle. I don't know if it's worse than the 800 or similar. But once it stalls, like any of these bikes, so I can get out of the way. Okay. Okay.